Okay, this is AIDS exposure test and AIDS cure part 2 update. As you can tell in the initial update, I told you that 3/4 of the people that had HSV in Swaziland also had HIV. And I also told you that in the United States of America, among black males, it was 1 in 100 had HSV. One had HIV and the other 100 had HSV. Now, the two primary differences in these two countries is Swaziland is predominantly HIV-2 population, where black Americans prominently HIV-1. As far as their version of the hive virus that causes AIDS. So I'm going to go over some of the other information. Blacks males infection rate is 1 in 2 recently. Black males and HSV, as far as their HSV rate, is 50%. It's actually a little under 50%. And I got that from this site here. As you can see, I did the 45% there. That's the 45% that has HSV in the black American population as far as the males go. And I figured the 90% that this come up with, this hive study by University of Washington and HSV study, and it came up with 40% probable infection by the end of the whatever happens. Then I told you about the growing sores and the PrEP treatment and PEP treatment. But I didn't realize this part right here. The HIV-1 was primarily a sodomy-based disease, where HIV-2 seems to be primarily a sores-based disease. I haven't actually been able to prove that, but I think that to be the case. And the reason I say that is, look what happened up here to sores-based diseases. In this case, HSV went from 66% prevalence rate in 2003 in Africa to 31%. That's 35% points less. And look how many people in Swaziland, which is an African country, have HSV versus AIDS. 75% of HSV victims have AIDS. But if you get into the black American population, only 0.6 of us, no, not us, but them, have the AIDS virus. With both of them, 0.53, and they seem to be prominently infected with HIV-1. Which is kind of interesting when you think about it. If you think about it, in the United States, most people who've caught HIV-1, which is what's predominantly spread here in the United States, most of us either been intravenous drug users for women, or it's been a sodomy. But the poorer countries of Africa probably don't have the luxury of intravenous drug use, and it's affecting a far much larger percentage of the female population. In some countries, more females have it than males. But they have that hive too in southern Africa, where this is the predominant case. And most women that have died from HIV have died from HIV too. That's another statement that I'm making that hopefully they'll do a study and actually prove, because I think it'll be the case. Well, that's what I wanted to say. Thomas Willis out here. Have a good day.